Hello viewers, I am Suresh Rajan Iyer from Miss Time channel. As usual, we bring a lot of celeb sports persons from all walks of life, like football, like tennis, like badminton, like squash, and Olympians. This time, we have a celebrity coach with us, Paul Phillips, under whose tutelage the third medal, that's bronze medal, was won by his pupil or his mentee, you can call him. And I welcome Paul to our channel.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Now tell me one thing, you are from Grenada?
Yes, I am from Grenada, not to be confused with Granada in Spain.
Okay.
Grenada is an island in the Caribbean. It's just north of Trinidad and Tobago,
Okay.
and south of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Fantastic, fantastic. Now, being the coach of a celebrity, medalist, we would like to know what is your, role as a coach, or as what is your, as a sports person, because you are also in the 2016 women throwers. Also, you were the coach.
Yes, yes. So, being the coach of an athlete in my country is a very versatile role. It entails mentorship.
Yeah.
In the case of some of my athletes, it is also being a father figure.
Yeah.
It is also being the physiotherapist.
Oh.
It is also being the dietitian.
Oh.
It is also being the coach, and many other things. So it's a role that is has a multiplicity of important aspects to it.
Right. That means you are an all-rounder or any mentee under your mentorship. You look
Yes.
after their sports, you look after their food, look after their exercises, look after their gym, look after their physique, and maybe you are also working on the mental pressures also.
Yes, there is a lot of difficulties. In my country, it's not as I should say the economic situation is not as in many other countries, developed countries, where there's a lot of support for sports, and in particular, there is not a lot of support for track and field athletes. That being said, that makes my role as a coach even harder. In many cases, my salary would have to be shared with my athletes.
Oh.
And so it creates a need for me to balance things a lot more than the professional coaching in a developed world.
Right. Now, your government and from your side, the government support is not as much as the Western countries.
Yeah, it's funny that you ask, because in the initial stage, I want to say in the formative years of Anderson's career, there was no support.
Oh.
All right. Our Olympic committee, they chipped in with some assistance from about 2016 thereabout, when he made the World Juniors. From then forth, there was some support from the Olympic Committee and government, and through the Ministry of Sports.
Yeah.
Would have been supporting sometime later on, maybe 2018, 2019 thereabout. So there wasn't a lot of support in the beginning from government. Now that he's reached to the level of the champion, and also now an Olympic medalist, there is some more support.
Okay. But let me ask you one more thing. As a coach, now you are a celebrity coach from your own this one. But do you find the communication barriers if you are coaching a different country sports persons, or English is the common language because culture different, language difference that affects you in some way?
I haven't coached many athletes from other countries. But I have found that there are a lot of athletes who javelin athletes on the international circuit who understands a great deal of English. And so communication is not really a barrier. It's not really a big barrier to speak about.
Right.
For example, I'm in Germany right now, and the English language is widely spoken. And so I have been able to interact with coaches and athletes here in Belgium, and giving a few tips here and there.
Okay. So that communication is ruled out. Everybody understands the language of the game. That's very important.
Yeah. Yes.
English or any language, that doesn't matter, I believe. If you speak in the sports language, it is understood.
Understood. We can do things sign language even.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, Paul, tell us about something about your background as a sports person, in which stream you are into, and then you took up this coaching.
Okay, so it's very interesting. My background is as a thrower. I did the discus and shot as my main event. I had a stint doing some javelin until I got injured in the elbow. Of course, as I said, my country does not have a lot of developed sports-specific medicinal practitioners. So there was no way that you're going to go to the hospital, for example, and tell them, well, you have an injury in the elbow from javelin, and somebody understands. Nobody understood that. Equipment for javelin throwing was not as readily available, so I did not pursue javelin for very long. I did the shot put, and I became the OECS record holder for a short while. In there, and my best was just above, just under 16 meters. With the discus, I was able to get up to 50 meters, and I later started to coach while I was still in high school. So in my final year of high school, I did the IAAF certification, and I decided that I was going to try and mentor young people in trying to give them the opportunity that I was seeking myself, which was to try to get to the top where I can get a scholarship to go to the US to get an education. That did not work out for me, but I took on coaching with that hope that I could give some athletes that opportunity.
Right.
And very soon it started to happen. I had, within the first 2 years of starting to coach, I had a number of athletes rising to the top levels in the Caribbean and pursuing further education in the US.
That's so interesting. Your career graph is so interesting. You're a shot put thrower and a discus thrower, and then coming to javelin and taking up the coaching. That's really interesting to know that. But how did you pick up this Anderson?
Well, before Anderson, I had a number of athletes who did the javelin at the junior level, and as I said, they went over to the US on scholarships. Now, Grenada is a very interesting island, and in Grenada, javelin was like a natural thing. So naturally, you can get, in my era, a boy in the under 20 category would be 60 meters. Right? Without any real professional coaching done. And that is because culturally, I don't know about India, but we have mangoes and we have different fruits, but the trees were very big, were tall trees. And if you wanted to eat, then you had to, pelt. We say pelt. You take stones and throw at the trees. And get the
correct.
Right? So if you could not have climbed up the tree, you had to pelt. And that, I think, would have helped to develop the throwing arm. And so we would have dominated the javelin at the Caribbean level. All right. So I don't know if you know well, the Carifta Games is one of the biggest junior sporting events, track and field events in the world.
Yeah.
And at that level, Grenada has dominated the javelin. And what was interesting is that I left after the devastation of Hurricane Ivan. I went to work in another island. And I spent 2.5 years there working as a policeman. I didn't find that was very, very interesting to me. I mean,
policeman.
So I came back. I came back and then I looked at it and I said, coaching is what I love. I wasn't being paid as a coach for all these years, but I love coaching, so I decided that I was going to take up the javelin as a project. And this is very important now.
Correct.
For all the dominance that we had, we didn't own any of the records in it.
My dear.
So I decided at that time that I'm going to find athletes who can become record holders. And so I was coaching Anderson not as a javelin thrower.
Then
he was a multi-talented athlete. He would have been able to do probably would have been able to do a decathlon. Right. But he was good at the long jump.
My dear.
He was so he was able to jump as a junior. As a junior, as under 17, he was able to jump over 7 meters. He could jump. Yes, in the long jump. In the triple, he would be over 14 meters in the triple jump. Yeah.
My dear.
Yes. He was reasonably good at the high jump, 1.7 meters. His 100 meters would have been like 10.5.
Wow.
Right. His 200 meters would be around 22 seconds. And so he was multi-talented. And he wanted to, in his era, to become the next Usain Bolt. Because that's what is popular at the time. And so one day he had an accident. He kept getting injured. And so we decided, listen, you can't sprint, so let's give the javelin a little bit of more attention. And naturally he just progressed from there because he was already doing pretty good numbers in the javelin.
Right.
And so we decided to pursue the javelin. It took a little bit on me to discourage him, I should say, from trying to pursue a career in sprinting. So we got onto the javelin, and the rest is what you see in front of you now.
The rest is history, actually. No, but you can say Anderson took up the javelin accidentally because of the accident?
Because of the accident.
And then...
And some persuasion from me. I think it was having to look and weigh things, balance things.
Right.
Could you have become at age 16 the next Usain Bolt?
Right.
I don't think so.
No.
I at least did not have the capacity to get you there. There were maybe 9 Jamaicans already running under 10-3 in his category. So how do you compete with them? Plus the North Americans, they were running fast as well. So it was a challenge, a big challenge. not having the support, not having the facilities
That's really
to
commendable,
actually
commendable job you have done for the Anderson. Like bringing out his javelin thrower from the, he was pushing, he was throwing himself on the higher jump and triple jump and long jump. You said, no, no, don't work on that. Throw the javelin. You can become a champion there. And
yeah.
I believe that he has thrown more than 90 plus in some events. And what is your mantra or advice to him? How did you go about it?
Um, Interestingly, once he started to throw, got to the World Juniors. He was at the World Juniors when Neeraj became the record holder. Um, our projections was always to get to 90 meters. At that time, it seemed to be very far, but we knew that we were well capable of doing that once we got enough support. And we were constantly working at trying to, first of all, take it in strides. Let us get to becoming Caribbean champion, Central American and champion, then a knockout champion, and a Pan Am champion, then become world champion. And it so happened that it didn't take very long from 2016. By 2018, he won his first medal at the Commonwealth Games. And then in 2019, he became Pan American champion. Also was second time winning the NCAA championship in the US. And from there, he got his first 87-meter throw. Oh. And we saw, well, 87 meters, that's pretty close to 90. So we knew that 90 was in the making. Unfortunately, in 2019, after he won the World Championship, he had to do knee surgery. He had a bad knee. Oh. So that set him back. I would say that set him back 2 or 3 years. And then came COVID in 2020.
Right.
2021 was a bad year because you didn't have time to rehabilitate the injury.
Right.
Right. So that was a big setback in itself. Right. So by 2021, we saw all sorts of flaws in his technique, and there were a lot of persons doubting whether or not he could repeat the feat of 2019 by winning the World Championship. Because, of course, his best that year was only 83 meters. So we went back to the drawing board and we looked at things differently. And in 2022, he had over five throws over 90 meters, including 3 throws at the World Championships. Right. A feat that only one other person would have accomplished.
Right. So I was watching the finals of the javelins in Paris on the television. All the 6 throws, they had 6 throws. The first throw of the silver and gold, they were disqualified in that. It's a fault. But second throw by Nadeem, it went up to 92.97. And I was watching Anderson also. He got that 88.54. And better than that, 88.50 over third at that time. He won the bronze medal by 0.04. What was your feeling? It's a satisfying, or you said bronze is enough, or you would like to go for the gold. What was your feeling at that time?
Yeah, it was kind of bittersweet because in the previous Olympics, which was his first Olympics, he didn't make the final.
Oh.
Of course, Neeraj won that one.
Neeraj won.
It was disappointing. So we went back. But remember what I said, we came from injury, and that year was very disappointing. So we used that as motivation and said, this Olympics here is going to be the Olympics that we actually medaled. Okay, so we took on the preparation leading up to the very seriously. All right, and then there was the disappointment of 2023 when again he got injured in his shoulder and his ankle. Right, so we were not able to actually be healthy in the year leading up to the Olympics. Of course, we had to have some procedure done on the shoulder, do some rehabilitation to the shoulder and the ankle. Once that was finished, we focused on regaining the technical side of things and re-strengthening. Right, we had no doubt that he can get on the podium. What was the challenge? The challenge was to be able to get the mind to be confident enough that after injury you can still do what you did before.
Correct.
Right? And so once we would have accomplished that, getting the mind and the body to work together, there was no doubt that he could get on the podium. Correct. To say that I'm happy in one sense that he got a medal. For him, it's an accomplishment. My disappointment is that I know that he was in better shape than 88 meters.
Correct.
Okay? He, I think, could have thrown further than 90 meters on that day, for sure.
Right.
But it wasn't to be. The good thing about it is that he ended up with a medal. I think he's happy. And so we live to see. We'll fight another day.
That's right.
That's it.
That's we have to put our 100% efforts, and whatever the result is there, that's up to the either the God or whatever on that day, whoever puts the best throw, he wins the game.
Yes.
I was talking to right. Now I was talking to the other javelin thrower, Julius. We were discussing one point there. How I would like to ask the same question to you. How far the javelin thrower, the height is advantageous or disadvantageous to the thrower?
Oh, height plays a very important role. I mean, if you look at the best javelin throwers, there is a height reach advantage.
Reach.
It plays a role, but it also is dependent on technique. Your technique and your agility, your speed. What you're able to bring into. The world record holder was only 6 feet 1 inch tall, which is pretty much Anderson's height. Okay. You look at Nadim, and Nadim probably would be 6'3", 6'4", maybe. He's a big guy.
He's a big guy. Yeah, that's correct.
A lot of folks underestimate the height and strength of that guy. He's a massive man. He's a strong man. And once he gets his technique right, like he got in the Olympics, he will be a force to reckon. Right. Always a force to reckon. Okay? Of course, he did 90 meters before at the Commonwealth Games. So some persons who may not have been following the event may have thought that he came from nowhere.
He was always there. Yeah, correct.
He came from always there.
Nowhere, and the second throw was 92.97. And other people, they could not cross 90. Again, he crossed one more time, 91 point something. The last throw was 91 something. Even needed or anybody could not cross 90 for that matter.
Nobody could cross 90 on that.
Yeah. But the point is, my mind is, mixed with the thought that how you prepare mentally for any event. Mental preparation is very, very important. You must be having a lot of physics and stamina and all the technique is there, but How do you prepare for the mental, the mind conditioning or the positive mindset? How do you do that?
Yeah, it's no easy feat. As I said, Anderson has battled with knee injuries, now shoulder injury, now ankle injury. It's always a challenge to get the athlete
Right.
to feel confident enough to be able to apply the right amount of force onto those joints that have been injured, the muscles that have been injured. And also to have the confidence to know that, okay, your training is sufficient to be able to compete with the best that there is.
Right.
So the role of the team, the support team, and in our case, it's just really me as the coach.
Yeah.
Is very important that you speak to the athlete regularly, that you make the athlete understand that you have done enough, that you need to have a certain level of relaxation going into the game.
Right.
Being confident that
Right.
you have done enough and you got this. Sometimes it's even worse that you go to the competition and on the first throw, like both Nadim and Niraj had,
Yeah.
the first throws were no throws.
Right.
What do you do that time?
Right.
And I think it takes maturity, it takes confidence to be able to draw yourself up from that and say, hey, I got it.
That's right.
You know, I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna put this in effort.
Correct.
Because I know I can do it. Right? So there's a lot that goes into that. I think it's trust, it's commitment, it's reassuring the athlete as many times as possible. And very importantly, I think it's ingrained in the training as well.
Yeah. That's very important.
Yes. If you don't do it in the training, then don't expect that you go by some stroke of magic that is gonna happen in the competition.
Correct. I take that point. Practice is more important.
Yes.
Preparation is more important than the performance, it is said. You have to prepare more and more and more strongly to perform better. That's correct. Now, in the recently ongoing the Diamond Championship, what is this performance 90 plus?
Yes. So again, sometimes again it takes a lot of mental strength.
Okay.
Coming from the Olympics, one could have become disappointed.
Yeah.
You could have tried too hard after the Olympics. You could have been disappointed with the results and decided, hello, it's not worth it. We, after the Olympics, the Grenada government asked that we come home. Well, usually we are in Europe from about May, June until the end of the last Diamond League. So we weren't going to go back home to celebrate the bronze medal, but the government asked that we come back home to celebrate. So we headed to our base, which was in Portugal, for 2 days, and then we flew to Grenada. So there wasn't any training from 2 days. From those 2 days, at least there wasn't training for a week after the Olympics, and then we got 2 days of training, and then we had to fly.
Right.
So there was another 7 days that there was no training at all. So we went home for the celebration. It was very hectic. It was on your feet for 2 days, and right after the celebration, we had to fly out to come back to Europe for the Diamond Leagues.
Right.
So to put things into perspective, the flight from Grenada to New York would be 6 hours. And then from New York over to Switzerland would have been another 8 hours. Okay, so we got in on Wednesday morning, and by Wednesday evening we had to just do your pre-competition little stuff,
Right.
little stretching, get yourself back, and then the competition was the next day.
Oh my.
Okay, so we got in on Wednesday and the competition was on Thursday.
Thursday.
But in this situation, there is not a lot of training that went into. So now your mental had to take over.
Exactly.
Right? And so the 90-meter throw was testimony of how much confidence you have in what you did prior to that day. Right? So, as I said, we always knew that that he was in 90-meter shape, and he proved it there.
Fantastic.
You know, it was a good competition. The 90 unfortunately came on the last throw, but I think it could have come earlier.
Yeah.
But there was a little bit. He keeps saying, "Oh, yeah, it's almost there. I'm missing this. I'm missing that." He said, "Do this, do that," and then it came. Right. Also, Miraj was not having a good meet. He was struggling as well, and was able to pull a good one back. You know, a season's best on his last throw, getting to 89 meters.
That's a good.
Yeah.
Right. Now, tell me, Paul, what will be your single statement advice for the people who wants to take up this javelin as a sport?
Javelin is a tough sport. It's a tough sport, but it's a nice event. It's very interesting. I think it's you know, I've heard the expression poetry in motion. It is like that when you get the technique right and you have all of this the necessary attributes flowing. Right. It's really a beauty to watch and experience javelin. And so my advice to athletes, to persons wanting to do it, I think you need to learn firstly the basics and get those basics from a proper source, because the rate of injury in the javelin is very high. Right? And many persons would realize that there are certain key places that javelin throwers get injured. They injure the shoulder, they injure the elbow, and I think the elbow is one of the areas that goes first. Yeah. And a lot of that is because of bad technique, poor technique. Right. So in the foundation stages, please get yourself with a coach who knows the proper way to train the technique. Right. Also, there is the tendency for persons to rush into doing a lot of throws with the javelin. Right. You know, they do too many throws with the javelin in your formative years. It take a toll on your joints. Right. And very soon you have elbow injuries, or you have, you know, other injuries in lower back and shoulders and so, and that could end your career prematurely. Right. So my best advice would be to get with someone who is skilled and knowledgeable enough to give you the foundation that you need, you know, right, to be able to pursue javelins.
Right. Now tell me about...
That's the way I'm heading now.
Fantastic. Definitely, you'll be, like producing a lot of athletes and sportsperson and javelin thrower from your academy in the future.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to really specialize with the javelin for a while. Okay. Yes, I coach other events, but I think the javelin has become something of a pet event now for me, and I would really love to have some more athletes that I could, you know, impart my knowledge to. Of course, not limited to the Caribbean, but anywhere and everywhere that I can get athletes from, I would gladly accept them. Mm-hmm. It's just that it wouldn't be very popular, possible even in the summers of most years. Once Anderson is throwing, then I travel with him. So during the summer, it would not be possible to be there. So any other time during the year would be welcome.
Right. So, so you must have seen all the athletes, like in the javelin at least in the Paris Olympics. So, how your relationship with other, like Nadeem and Neeraj and Julius and other athletes or the javelin throwers? Did you communicate with them also?
Yeah, we have. There is some light conversations happening. Of course, when persons come to the village, or when there is other meets, like the Diamond Leagues or so, you meet and you greet and you speak a little bit about how is training, how is preparation, and how
Right.
how ready are you for this competition. And of course, we've had those little conversations. Um, Nadim, not so much. I'm not too sure of his command of the English language and
Okay.
that kind of stuff. And he's not really seen around a lot. You know, Neeraj and I we would have had good conversations with his coach as well. There are some other competitors as well. Diego, I've been giving advice to every now and again. I think this time around we've had a long conversation, and I've committed to help him prepare himself for the next season as well. So there are a number of those who are not too by themselves that
Okay.
we have started a conversation.
Right.
Not everybody is open for conversation.
That's right. That's right. Everybody is not open to discussion and whatever talks. You can say
Yeah.
some inhibitions will be there, or some like complex situations where how to talk to and how to approach. These things do all
Yes.
the human tendency.
Yeah, and then there's also the cultural barrier. I mean, some persons might be apprehensive. They look at you, and of course, I'm the only black man coaching somebody on the circuit. So like, I wonder if he's receptive. You know what I mean? I wonder how, and I'm not pushy, so I don't go to people and just,
Yeah.
conversate in a way. But if I'm approached, I will definitely, conversate with you and make you feel comfortable.
That's important. That's important. Once you are very close to, then you are very open to everything.
Yes.
Till you reach someone, it's difficult. There's always that's why I was telling in the initial stages only, the communication barrier is always there. How to break that and then enter into the other person's heart, and then gets
Yeah.
his game, art of the game. That's the job of the coach. How to go into the heart of the mentee and then find out what he is good at, what he's bad at. That's what you will be doing, I think. Now tell me
Yeah.
one thing: if you are only holding this because your country has produced a lot of athletes. They are sprinters. They are like relay race people, and all those people are there from Grenada. You know, how come you are into focusing on javelin only at this moment?
I have a club. I run a club. In our club, we do all the events with the exception of the steeplechase, hammer, pole vault.
Yeah.
Our situation is such that we have a small facility for lifting, and then it's a grass field that is multi-purpose. As a matter of fact, it is primarily used for track and field and cricket.
Okay.
There is some soccer played there as well. We do not have a synthetic surface. We don't train on a synthetic surface. But we've been doing a lot of those other events as well.
Okay.
I've coached a number of junior athletes junior sprinters, um, um, 400 meters, 200 meters, 100 meters, even coach hurdlers. And you might know, if you follow Grenada track and field, that Lyndon Victor
Yeah.
is our decathlete. Both him and Cut
Right.
Are very close to my club. Lyndon is one of my former athletes.
Oh, under your training.
Yes.
Fantastic.
I worked with him in his formative years, just before he migrated to the US. And he's my brother-in-law, which is a special relationship that we share. So we're always consulting and stuff,
Right.
whether it is the technical events or whether it is just life. So I have coached many events. It is just that this product and the St. Peter's has stood out among all of the other athletes that I've coached over the years. And so I think, as I said, when I came back to Grenada after the stint away, I took it up as a project, and now it has turned into a bigger project. And with every passing year, we're trying to see how close we can get to the world record. That's really the project.
That's very important. Yeah, correct.
Until then, you might not see a lot more happening there, because the total focus, we have to be locked in. And there is, of course, a window of opportunity with any athlete. You want to try to get to his peak, to his best, before he gets to the mid 30s.
Correct.
So he's 26 now. He'll soon be 27. Then you know what's going on.
That's right. Age will be catching up as early as possible. We don't know, but
Yes.
one thing is there. Even in your country, you said lot of dearth of facilities not there much, but still you are producing a lot of good sports person from your under your leadership or under your coaching. That's a tremendous amount of work you are doing. Even though
Yes.
the scarcity of facilities, but still.
Yeah. I think the hallmark of a good coach is to be able to utilize what you have.
Yes, correct.
And to be able to get the best out of the athletes that are placed in your charge. I've traveled throughout Europe now, and I've seen the facilities that they have, and I could only be in awe at the amount of stuff that they got.
Right.
They have indoor facilities and all sorts of stuff like that. And where I come from, it's really just a little room that we have for weight training, and we don't have a lot of weights, and most times we have to take that out of the room, bring it outside, and to do the lifting and so.
Yeah.
So I had to get very innovative. I had to use very many different things, to get strong, to build your technique, and so on and so on. I had to use my phone a lot to be able to get videos that we can sit and analyze and stuff like that. It is difficult, when you don't have the funding. Now there's a lot more money around, because now, of course, he's a professional, and then there's some money coming in from that. But back then there was nothing coming in. It was an old Android phone with the very minimum space. So when sometimes you take the video, it says you're running out of space, so you watch the video and you delete it. So it was that kind of thing that I had to battle with. It is also the as I said, the lack of facilities, so we have to utilize things like old tires and bicycle tubes and stuff like that, and just really throwing stones, throwing different things,
Correct.
So you had to become very innovative to be able to rise to this thing. But that's what I pride myself in, being able to produce a world champion I mean, back world champion and a 90-meter thrower without having
Any
the
facility.
sophisticated facilities and financial backing and all.
That's really commendable job you are doing. Actually, I've heard somewhere, no facility is the only facility we provide. Sometimes it is like that. We don't have any facility, but that is the only facility we provide. And even in that conditions, you have produced a world record holder or a world champion or maybe a bronze medalist or whatever you are producing. And that's actually the hats off to you for that commendable job you are doing. You're doing
Thank you.
a great job for the athletes and sports person in general. And
Yeah,
maybe we wish that your academy takes a very nice shape in the future, and you produce a lot of sports person from your the you can say academy or foundation, whatever you are planning to, and we'll see many medal winners from Paul's academy in the future to come. That's a we wish from our side. For whatever you are doing, the hard work and training and all those things. You are a multifaceted personality. You are doing all the roles of a different professions into one, rolled into one. Now,
thank you.
you must be having a lot of fan following after this, maybe Paris Olympics or before that. What will be your like comment to your fans?
Fans, I'm not even sure, man, about how many people support me or how many people follow me.
Count me in
But
for that.
I'm pretty sure now that a lot of persons are eager to find out what is happening with Anderson, how he's gotten to that level, and this conversation that we're having is testimony of such. I mean,
Right.
I don't know who would have known that somebody from India would want to know what's going on in Grenada, or, who's behind the man that is Anderson Peter. And I think there for sure are a lot of fans in the Caribbean. I know for sure. A lot of persons in the diaspora, have been Grenadians in the diaspora have been following keenly, because of course, winning an Olympic medal, winning world championship medals is a big thing for us as a small nation. Grenada is only a small island with 110,000 persons.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
And
aware
I'm
of
speaking to somebody from the world's largest population, which is yeah. So I just want to say to persons who would have supported me and who would have been following what we're doing, that I thank you very much. It means a lot when I see a comment from somebody encouraging me. Lots of folks have come to know my story, know what I'm up against when I'm coaching, and I think that they have really inspired me with their comments, and I look forward to seeing some of the comments there. Sometimes it's hard, it's difficult. You can look on the internet and see, there was a competition and the results is out, and then you can look below it and see that lots of persons you don't even know are saying congratulations, job well done, and that inspires me and motivates me. And I think it means a lot to the athletes as well.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of fan following is there in our country. As you rightly said, we are the most populated country in the world, and we do follow all the sports persons from all over the world. Peterson and you, we have a lot of followers in India. I'll
Thank
tell
you,
you,
thank you.
I'll tell you myself. I have seen the finals of the javelin throw. I seen all the six throws of all the eight throwers. I have seen
That's
it.
good.
Yeah, but that's why I'm telling you, the first two people, the gold and silver people, they failed in the first one. Second throw it was a good one.
Yeah.
I have seen that all the people, we have a lot of following, and we are a sports loving country. Though
I know that.
our performance in the world level is not so much, but still, we do have couple of surprises from so many World Cups and so many Olympics also. That
Yeah,
doesn't.
I mean, I've been following the rise of javelin throwers in India as well. And I think the event is becoming very popular.
Popular, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that's good. I mean, feeding off of the success of Niraj and making the
Dheeraj has
dream of
popularized. Dheeraj has
yes,
popularized the javelin in our country, so he is a world-class player.
yes,
People
yes,
like
and
to follow
he's
what he is doing.
one of the most popular athletes in the
Popular,
world.
yeah,
So
yeah. Correct, correct.
why not why not feed off of it? I mean, athletes are getting inspired all the time, and
Right,
I think he makes a decent living by doing the javelin. So why
right,
not follow?
correct. So nice. Now, our channel will be very much, happy and elated or excited to have you both, as you and Anderson both, to talk to. If it is possible, I don't know, after the diamond, maybe whatever. Let us see. We'll keep the fingers crossed. But I definitely wish that once your academy or foundation starts, we'll definitely follow you and then we'll catch up for a detailed discussion on your academy and how you go about it and all those things, procedures and sports persons or maybe other things also. Yeah. Now,
Yeah,
is there?
looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Asita, tell me, Paul, what is your now the futuristic any aim or goal is there, or maybe short term like that? I want to train more people and more medal winners, or what is your, let's say 5 year down the line, where will we fall?
Um, hopefully that I said the academy set up and I can have some more world class tours. Within the next 3 to 5 years, I'm hoping to attract a few more young throwers that I can mold up into to becoming world class. Also, hoping that we can keep Anderson really healthy and motivated and try to see how close we can get to the world record. Be more consistent in throwing over 90 meters as well. It's always a challenge coming from where we come from, not having all of the facilities and having to rely on outside help to do it. His physio, we have a physio that he works with. We can't afford to have a physio with us all year round. So we did some work with a physio, but he's based in Mississippi in the US. Those things we hope that we can, work out the best deal and have him healthy as possible, and so be able to challenge the world record. So going forward, that's the projections, trying to get to the world record, trying to have a pool of athletes that we can send to the professional rank more regularly.
Right. Definitely. Now, this diamond event will be over. After that, this is the last event, I believe, and then the preparation for the next Olympics or any World Championship is on.
Yes, so we are here in Brussels for the last Diamond League event, is the finals, grand finale. It's the first time that Anderson is at the finals, so we're looking to see if we can get a podium finish, get a top place finish. And then it's the end of the season. It's been a long one. It's been a good season as well. So after that, we will take some break. There are a few things that we need to work on to rehabilitate some small niggles, some small injuries that he picked up during the season. And once that is finished, we'll start the preparation towards the next major meet, which is next year, the World Championships in Tokyo.
Right. So we wish from our side, our channel, as well as my personal side, all the best to your mentorship or your coaching, that any athletes, or at this moment, I think Anderson is the center of the attraction. So he winning the world championship or next Olympics, whatever is there, I think by next Olympics it will be 93, 94, I believe.
I think
it was already 92.
The way the guys are throwing right now, I think
Yeah.
looking at having to throw above 95 meters to get a medal.
Possible. That's right. Because I have observed this Neeraj last time it was 87 point something and he won the gold. This time 87 came fifth.
Yes, yes. It was very, 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 very tight, very
Very
competitive.
challenge. Very
Yeah.
distance is soaring high, reaching the sky.
Yes,
So,
yes, and
oh,
it speaks to the expertise of the coaches as well, and the knowledge that there is floating around, not only in the traditional countries, because for the first time in 100 years, you didn't have a European on the podium,
exactly.
and that's volumes for what is happening outside of Europe, which is traditionally powerhouse
Yes.
for the javelin.
That's right. That's right. That's right. We are, we express our, gratitude to you for, sparing your time with us to speak about, your heart, about your academy, your pupil, your students, the podium finisher, Anderson, and definitely we appreciate your expressions, whatever you have said in this pod, podcast. And we wish on our channel side as well as my personal side all the best in your endeavors in the future times. Maybe your academy flourish and many athletes do come and they break the records. And all the best to you, Paul, for giving us the time. Thanks a lot and wish you all the best.
Okay, thank you for having me, and I wish you all the best and keep up the good job that you're doing, promoting sports and promoting
Right.
your people in our home.
Thanks a lot. We'll catch up next time whenever your foundation or academy starts up.
Okay, thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.